Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Brooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, and welcome to BKS1 Radio, the Out Show. It is your girl, Latoya Chanel, and I am happy to be back in the building for another. It's a rainy Tuesday, and I've heard the busiest Tuesday of the year from my best friend. I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Miss Queen Bee is here in the building.
Like I'm trying to, I'm making it up. Am I ever this late?
She just making it up. So anyway, that's why we are starting a little bit later today. No, I completely understand with the rain and everything. You know, there's traffic and everything anywhere, everywhere. People want turkeys. I've actually sent my son to get one now. But while you are waiting to get your turkey, you can just make sure that we're going to send the link around so you can read this, because this is very important. You guys should be reading this for your holidays. It has a pumpkin spice playlist. All of that goes with Thanksgiving. Read the article. This is the November Pretty Woman Hustle article. And yes, we are on the cover. And yes, we have a 7-page. Yes, we have a 7-page spread in the middle of this magazine, and you guys can go ahead and you can read that. And I don't know, maybe talk about it around, the table with your families. I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you. But anyway, on this terribly rainy Tuesday, Miss Queen Bee, how you doing?
I'm actually good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Thanksgiving.
Are you?
To be with the family.
Are you cooking?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm cooking for my house.
Making? Everything? Why are you looking at me like that?
I feel attacked today.
Doesn't everybody ask everybody if they're cooking for Thanksgiving?
Everybody ask everybody what they cooking?
They do.
I'm cooking everything, Latoya.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm cooking everything. I'm cooking everything. Okay.
For your house.
Yes, for my house. I'm going to my brother's this year. Shout out to him. Who did not find it robbery to not cook for me, because he is a chef.
You're right.
So he is cooking.
Leave it up to
you. I'm cooking for my own house, but I am just adding to whatever is over there. So everybody's bringing whatever over there, because I need the turkey and stuff when I come home.
Yeah.
But
You gotta have
Friday
food at
I'm
your own
off,
house.
and all I want to do is eat.
Yeah.
Watch movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
That type of
Read
thing.
our magazine article.
That's it.
Yeah, stuff
That's
like
it.
that.
I ordered mine already.
Just stuff like
Get
that.
yours.
Yeah.
I ordered it.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
I ordered 3, actually.
Yeah.
Because my mama, shout out to her.
Yeah, because she DM'd me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Jerry. She who DM'd me and said she wanted one.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, sus.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
got
I mean?
to. Said I got it, Mom.
Yes.
But no, I'm super excited about it. We've got a lot of things coming up.
Yeah.
We actually had a very good weekend this weekend.
We did.
Segue.
I did. You did. We were together for
busy.
some of it.
Yeah, some of it we were
But,
together for.
shout out to everyone at New Jersey Performing Arts Center. Shout out to everyone that took part in Up Next and Represent. That was on Thursday night. So I thank everybody that had a part in that and seeing, dreams come to fruition. This is my 3rd year doing it.
Yes.
And it was a success. So shout out to all of the poets.
Yes.
Shout out to Norm, the DJ, Miss Pretty Ricky, who co-hosts with me, and everybody that had a hand in that. If you came out, you were able to see Queen Bee do some of her poetry that almost had me in tears. I'm just saying I was very proud of my best friend and what she did at my job, and it was absolutely amazing. So that was Thursday. Friday had some plans, but things kind of got turned around.
Yes.
Saturday, shout out to the class of Saturday, shout out to the class of '95 from Plainfield High School. That is not my class, but I went with.
I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, that is not my class. But I did go with my friend, and I went with her as a support animal. I say to the class reunion, but it was good seeing everybody from her class because I know a lot of people from there, and it was a good time, and my head stayed on a swivel the entire time.
And everybody looked amazing.
Did they?
No.
Okay. So it was a good time, and hungover and all, getting in the house at 3 o'clock in the morning. We then turned around, drove all the way down to pretty much Atlantic City, and had our Friendsgiving with the girls. A shout. Let me clap.
It was
them
our
up.
Waiting to Exhale.
It was our Waiting to Exhale Friendsgiving. We were all together. It was the 5 of us. My cousin came up from Maryland. We drove down. We all convened in one household and
drinks and food.
And we had cupcakes, and we had an amazing time on Sunday. So that was great. We played a game, and I brought it with me. The game, everybody, y'all see that? The game is called Rated Black, everybody, and this was created by a friend of mine.
Ask me a question.
Her name is Fallon, and we played that. It's on Amazon, and you can get it, on Amazon. Just go and look up Rated Black.
When I tell you, it's really, really fun.
Yes, it's a really fun.
It's a really fun game.
It is a really fun game. So here's one sample.
And you want to be
question.
on my team if.
Ooh. Well, every time I played, I won. But anyway, here's your black card. I just want everybody to see that. Here, let me find a question that everybody would know. They might not know that one. They might not know that one. Oh my God, these are some of the hard ones. Wait, hold on. Okay. Your black card. This is your black card that can get stolen if you don't know the answers. And these are all people who are movie buffs, right?
Yes.
And you're on a timer. It's how many you can get. Here's the question. If you want to be somebody and you want to go somewhere, then you better do what?
Yes, wake up and pay attention.
It's you better wake up and pay attention, okay?
So it's questions like that.
Yes, it is. It's questions like that you read.
Then you wouldn't believe. You honestly think that you got that and everybody got that? Everybody
don't know that.
Everybody don't know that.
Everybody don't know that. There's all kinds of movies. They're all great. But either way, which top high school basketball recruit must decide his future while his father is released from prison to sway him?
Jesus.
That's
Jesus
it. Ding, 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 ding. Jesus Shuttleworth from
She could be on
Got
our
Game.
team. She could be on our team.
Yes. So either way, everybody, those are just some of the questions. Again, my friend Fallon created this game. We played it this weekend. Go on Amazon.
That's that black girl magic.
Order
I'm
yours.
super excited about it.
It's called Rated Black.
Yes.
Y'all can play it for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Order it today.
Yep. It'll be there.
It'll be there on time. So yes, so that was our weekend. It was a 4-day weekend with packed full of stuff. And then Monday, I don't know. I was just kind of looking around like what is going on in the world.
Yes.
Norm in there talking about he got game. Norm, if you don't do what you're doing, he in the chat talk about that. Norm, if you don't go somewhere and DJ.
You're not on my team.
But shout out to Norm. Shout out to Miss Pretty Ricky who is in the chat. Who says that we told her not to wear, a Grammy outfit?
But
she was
see
stunning on Thursday.
Did you see
everybody.
that my post is going viral with you dancing with the young lady of a different persuasion?
Oh my God.
She is getting mad views.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so
okay.
I gotta tag you.
Okay. So Miss Pretty Ricky, we're gonna tag you in that, and you looked amazing on Thursday. Norm saved you a cupcake. We ate them all already. They are gone. And yes, please make sure you go on Amazon and buy the game. The name of the game is Rated Black. So on Thanksgiving, you can do 2 things besides eating. You can play the game Rated Black, and you can read our article in Pretty Women Hustle. I mean, I just, there's a lot that you can do on Thanksgiving besides eating is all I'm saying. But in the meantime, we do have a guest in the studio. Yes. Yeah, we do have a guest in the studio, so I want to go ahead and get to that.
Which I'm excited about, right?
Yes.
This is, I swear, for the last two episodes, this is childhood, right? Mm-hmm. This is
throwback.
I'm super excited to introduce Larisha Bonds, who went to South Plainfield with me. Right?
South Plainfield,
South
what?
Plainfield. Well, she was in middle school.
Okay. I went to the high school.
But you went to the middle school or high school?
I went to the high school my junior, senior year.
Okay, so it was junior, senior year for her. High school for me as well. And we went there together. And I'm super excited to see her, right? Mm-hmm. To see her. She wears a lot of hats, right? So she is a mother, of course. But she is a comedian, which we'll talk about. You are a author as well. You hold many hats, right? And you, like me, came from humble beginnings, right? You came from humble beginnings, and you've dealt with a whole bunch of things in childhood. So just to see you sitting here it warms my heart. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful for me.
And she's here today to discuss
her book. So her book, allegedly, of course, we're going to talk about that. But I would just want to delve into life, delve into the book, delve into life, delve into the book, delve into just things that you want to share with us.
So we're going to start with, we're going to bring her on camera now. So everybody, give
Please
a nice, warm virtual welcome to Larisha Bonds. Okay, yes. We're going to go ahead and clap for her.
Welcome. Yeah. So one of the facets of your life is you are known for the book Allegedly.
Yes.
Which I want to introduce.
I love that title.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
It's a powerful title.
Yeah.
Weighted. It's a weighted title, but
yes, it is.
It is.
I didn't want to get sued, so.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So talk to us about it. Tell us about it, a little bit about it.
Well, I was a probation officer for 9 years, and I saw a lot of corruption, allegedly. So I was illegally brought up on false departmental charges.
Yes.
I was written up for using my approved FMLA. Everyone knows when you're a state worker, you can't be written up for FMLA. That was the purpose of FMLA. And I was working for the courts. They didn't care about the purpose of FMLA. They didn't care about their rules and regulations, their laws, none of that. So after I filed a lawsuit against them with no attorney, they fired me and illegally incarcerated my mentally ill nephew because of that lawsuit.
What? And stop. Okay. And let's go back.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were a corrections officer. Probation officer.
Yes, in Middlesex County. In New Brunswick.
Okay. You were a probation officer.
Yes.
And you used your FMLA.
My approved FMLA as it was designed, yes.
You used your FMLA for whatever was going on with you, your family, your whatever. And
approved.
Your approved FMLA.
That's important.
And then you were fired.
Well, I was brought up on false departmental charges. I reported the racism and discrimination and the harassment in the workplace.
For you or for the...
Against me, they were discriminating against me. They were violating me and abusing me and harassing me at work.
Okay.
So when I reported them for being racist, they said, okay, we're going to write you up for taking off of work. But I took off of work because I had approved FMLA. That's where the corruption comes in. Because they were going to do what they wanted to do regardless of the law, the rules, the policy that they had in place. Yeah. It happens a lot.
It does.
And what they didn't realize is, one, I'm not wrapped too tight. Number two, either I have these rights or I don't, and you're not going to play with me and say, okay, you have FMLA, you got to get it certified by a doctor every 6 months. You got to fill out this paperwork and can nothing happen. And then when you don't like me reporting the way you are treated, mind you, we have code of conduct training. In the code of conduct training, probation officers, attorneys, sheriff officers, and judges are all part of this training where they tell you what they can and cannot do and what you can and cannot do and how you can and cannot be treated. Right. Mm-hmm. So when you're telling, they were literally violating our rights, discriminating against us and abusing us, committing crimes against us, and then having training with us, telling us we can't discriminate against you, violate your rights.
And it's like, but y'all are doing everything that you're teaching us.
And I will every training I would lift my hand and like, Don't y'all know that's what y'all doing to us?
Right.
So it was a psychological warfare. It was a mental game they wanted to play. I didn't want to play that game. I didn't like recess when I was in school. I didn't like playing games. So when they came up with the charges, I had one or two options. I could let them get away with it, or I can hold them accountable. No attorney would take my case because I was suing the courts.
Yeah.
The attorneys are licensed by the court. I'm from North New Jersey. So at the end of the day, either I'm going to hold you accountable or you're going to get away with it. So I filed a lawsuit against the New Jersey judiciary in federal court with no attorney. All I had was my street knowledge and knowing right from wrong. When I filed that lawsuit, you're going to file a lawsuit against me? We're going to fire you. And they illegally incarcerated my mentally ill nephew because of that lawsuit.
How? How did they link the two of that together?
Okay. Going back, one of the rules is if you have a family member involved with the court, you got to let them know. So if you have a family member involved with the court, even if you had a family member in Newark, I had to let you know my mother got a lawsuit. This one got a parking ticket. You got to let them know somebody involved. Yeah. I let them know my nephew had a case.
Because you were a probation officer.
Because I was a probation officer in Middlesex County. He was on probation. They said this case is a conflict, and we're going to take this case from Middlesex County and transfer it to Union County because it was a conflict. Okay, cool. I ain't want to hear what y'all anyway. Remember, the keynote to all of this, Asana Shakur had the warrant out for her arrest in Middlesex County, in New Brunswick. That's key critical because I wrote that in my book too. Yeah. So I reported sometime later, maybe 6 months to a year, I reported the criminal division manager right now for being racist because she was allegedly. They said, you know what, you want to keep talking? Because I reported them before. I did 31 complaints in my 9 years there. Every time they did something, I believe what Ludacris said it best, you move, I move just like that. So you violate me, I'm a writer. I'm a do my paperwork. Yeah. Because you're not going to stop them from being racist. I'm not a super safer host, excuse my French, but I'm not going to stop you from doing what you're doing. Okay, cool. I'm going to just document it. So my documented is on point. So when I reported the girl for being racist, the New Jersey judiciary removed my nephew's case from Union County back to Middlesex County and issued a court order against me saying that I cannot have a conversation about my nephew or anything. So that's one reason how I know it was for
definitely
me
based
because
on,
it was a violation of their code of conduct. In the history, we asked them for evidence. Give me all the cases in the state of New Jersey, in Middlesex County, where you had a case that was a conflict and you transferred the case out because of the conflict, and then you transferred the case back into the county, and they still have not answered my questions. My lawsuit was filed in 2019. So that's why I say they went after my nephew. My nephew has the mental capacity of a 13-year-old. He does not understand. He had a evaluation says that he does not he qualifies for not guilty by reason of insanity, meaning you can't even find him guilty because he can't go to trial. They found him guilty. Not only did they find him guilty, they forced him to sign a plea for 5 years in prison. Told him it was 3. His reading level is not that good, and sent him to prison based on his first offense as an adult with mental health issues, and he was 18 years old.
Jesus.
They went after him. Kyrie Irving, and I always give him a shout out because he literally saved my life. He donated to my nephew's GoFundMe.
Jesus.
He donated to 2 people in the state of New Jersey, and my nephew was one of them because of the targeting and the treatment that my nephew went through because of my lawsuit.
Is he still in?
Still incarcerated, and they're still harassing him. I get emotional talking about that. Because of his mental health issues. And my thing is, the courts are corrupt. They're mad that I'm trying to hold them accountable for what they did. So they go after him to try to teach me a lesson. And they was in a situation when he was in parole, he was in a facility. There's a camera showing the staff, the client trying to fight him. My nephew went to the staff like, look, I ain't got a lot going on. I don't want this person is trying to assault me. I just leave me alone. Like, went to the staff said, we can't intervene. The person jumped on my nephew, physically assaulted my nephew. The state of New Jersey, Officer SASS, you can bleep that out if you have to, we don't have the videotape. And then wrote in documentation, which is fraud, that my nephew started the fight. Violated my nephew parole. Now, when you have a parole violation for not a new charge, you only get 12 months because it's not a new charge. The state of New Jersey gave him 13 months for that parole violation charge, kept him in prison for 23 months. because they're the state. They can do what they want to do.
They can do what they want to
So
do.
I go to interviews, I post about it, I talk about it, and I just tell people. And when I'm telling people what's happening to me, 9 times out of 10, oh, like the FMLA, you can't do right to somebody for FMLA. Everything I tell them what you can't do has honestly been done to me. And since my therapist told me I couldn't go postal, I had to come up with what can I do to hold them accountable for what they did.
Right.
Allegedly. And I did 2 documentaries on what they did as well. Because, again, I'm not going to, they've been racist 16, 19. We know who we dealing with. We know what white supremacy is. And I just want to make sure that I'm not silenced and what you're doing to me and what you did is not covered up.
Right.
Because the way the system systematically discriminates against people, they have a way that they systematically cover up their abuse.
Of course.
What they do is when a case is settled, they seal the court documents. A sheriff officer friend of mine filed a lawsuit because he was called the N-word. They sealed the court documents after his case was settled and made him sign an NDA. Now he can't even talk about what happened to him. And I'm seeing him. That happened in 2018 when I was there before I filed my lawsuit in 2019. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a talker. I said, nah, y'all ain't shutting me up. I got fired from my job August 2021, which was honestly the best thing that ever happened to me. August 2022, the book was done. August 2023, the documentary, I had 2 documentaries done. August 2024, I had my podcast done. Like, it's just a matter of me being free and me not allowing you to get away with what you did.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try. And again, they keep doing stuff to my nephew. They got him a new charge, say he's harassing somebody. He don't really understand what's going on.
Right.
He has the mental capacity from based on an independent evaluation that he doesn't understand what's happening to him. They're still making him sign papers and do all kinds of stuff. It's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I'm sorry.
No. What? Sorry about what?
I don't want to bring people down. I can tell the joke.
It ain't even
no.
It's not to bring people down because, Larisha, what you don't understand is that black women pretty much go through this all the time, right? And there's a lot of times where even that I've dealt with certain things. I've worked in corporate and have dealt with this same type of thing. I had someone tell me that I got into my nursing school because I was black, like some affirmative action type. I benefited from that, and treated me as such. And just for a lot of years, I stayed silent because you know what? I don't want to rock the boat. I got 2 kids to take care of. There's a lot of reasons why people stay silent, right? Is it right? Of course not. But there's a lot of, and they know that, right? Know that part. So I stayed silent for a really long time until I couldn't take it no more. Although HR is definitely for them, I thank God for my HR at that time when I was at that job, because she said, she's like off the record. She walked me to lunch and she said, "Don't you ever stay silent. Don't you ever. There is no way that you should have sat on this long, you know?" Yeah. And I could have, same like you, had a lawsuit. I could have did whatever. I took the high road. Did he get reprimanded? Of course he did. He got reprimanded. But there were people that got fired before me. There were people that, I had a girlfriend that, actually had a lawsuit because she was fired on FMLA. Right. And what they did was when she did go to a lawyer, the lawyer said, them again, this company I work for, them again. And they settled out. They wind up settling out. So I just say that to you, that it's not our sigh is not oh, you bringing us down. Yeah, our sigh is here we go again.
Right.
Like, so this is something that we go through all the time.
And it's 3 black women suing New Jersey. I have 2 lawsuits. In my federal case, I filed by myself with no attorney. I have that one. In my state case, when I was fired, it was 2 other black women, one who worked there since 1995, who was brought up on, I uncovered money laundering, fraud, witness tampering, and I wanted to charge them with RICO based on the things that they were doing and how I was describing it. But it's 2, one was 1995, one worked there since 2009, and I worked there since 2012. So what they're doing, and the key to this whole thing, and I don't think a lot of people understand the importance of what I'm doing or the significance of it.
Please explain that to everybody. Because for somebody who just thinks, She just talking. She just mad. You know what I mean?
Angry black woman.
Angry black woman. Just tell them what your shirt says everything. but tell them why. Tell them what.
The courts is responsible for making sure that people's rights are not violated. So if your company, when they sued, they had to go to the court where the judge had to make a decision based on what's right or what's wrong. I worked for that company.
Right.
That's responsible for making sure, and it ain't like you could pick and choose
Who
which court you
monitors
go
the
to.
monitors?
You can't pick and choose. Now, if Walmart violating you could go work somewhere else. Right. But if it's the courts, anytime they want to say you did something and they want to charge you, they can charge you.
Yes.
Guilt, innocence, be damned. They don't care.
Well,
if they did that to me, and I have again, in order to work for the courts, you have to have a certain education level, you have to have certain trainings, you have to have a certain pass a background check, federal fingerprints, and all that. So if they can do that to me, and the what I did in my book is I just documented everything they did. We talk about how the courts go after people, but I'm showing you how they do it.
Oh wow.
The how.
And they don't like that.
And oh no, they mad. When I tell you they mad. My thing is you're going to have to get over it because I'm not going to stop you from discriminating against me. I'm just going to say what you did. What you're saying.
Who knows about this book?
Everybody and their mama. Tamika Mallory has a copy. Al Sharpton has a copy. Lorenz Tate. Who else has a copy?
What has Tamika said?
Nothing. Okay. That's one thing I'm finding about this. Like the struggle of the support for whatever reason. That's what I'm saying. I don't think people understand the significance. And I'm a talker, and I hate to say when you appear, like I saw with Wafia was on here.
Yes.
When you appear strong, we don't have to help.
Nobody needs. You don't
because
need
I'm
help.
strong.
Yeah.
I'm strong. I'm the helper. If somebody needs something, I'm the one helping the people. So, she got this. Like I was in a magazine in Philadelphia. I was on this when I was on this podcast. I was on here. So people see me and be like, she don't need help. When I have quote unquote 500 friends on Facebook, my comment, give a shout out to my college roommate. She the only one who consistently share. Like, just share. You don't know who you see. Yeah. But even sharing my story, the state of New Jersey is doing this. Imagine what they're doing to people who, again, my nephew with mental health issues.
They don't
who
know.
Can't advocate and fight for themselves.
Where is everything now?
That's the $1 million question. I asked them questions. We're in the interrogatory and discovery stage. Okay. In my federal case, because after a certain amount of after 5 years, the case has to be closed. They closed my federal case out. They because they on the record.
Has it been 5 years?
Since 2019, October 2019, I filed my lawsuit by myself. But because they know they have to act on it. So if you look in the system at my federal case, it says closed. But they're still handing out subpoenas, having us do stuff. That's the manipulation of the courts. That's why my second book, we just going to write about it. Like, I'm not going to stop you from manipulating or doing that. I'm going to just show how you doing it. That's how they go around the system.
What are they trying to subpoena now, the book?
No, we ask them questions. It's the interrogatory and discovery stage. Mm-hmm. We ask them for questions and we ask them to give over evidence. Yes. They have refused since 2020. They have refused since 2022 to answer the questions or give over evidence. My attorney filed a motion in July saying, Your Honor, can you file her state case in default because there's 3 of us there. Every question they ask, everything they did, we showed them the evidence, whatever. We did everything, answer all the questions, but they're refusing to do what they're supposed to do. We can't litigate. Can you render it in default?
Right.
They asked for a hearing for that. So the hearing for that is scheduled for February the 13th, but they still haven't answered none of the questions. They still haven't given over the evidence. And my thing is, I wonder why. That's what I'm saying. Like, if people really started understanding, how could you dare have a trial or accuse anybody of anything if this is the courts? I wish somebody would say the courts send me to court for violating the law or rights. And what are they? 3 black women is suing. A sheriff officer in March of 2025 sued for discrimination, harassment, and retaliation and just won $3.8 million at trial this year. A sheriff officer in Passaic County sued for the discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. October the 7th, just won his at trial in Passaic. The sheriff officer who was called the N-word, they settled his case for $1.2 million to sheriff officers being called the N-word. Like, I can go on and on. It was another, the police director in Trenton She tried to get rid of white supremacy, was brought up on false charges, discrimination, harassment, and retaliation in her lawsuit. They fired her. Her lawsuit is still pending. I tried to interview her on my podcast. That's what the system does when you're a black person. They tell you, be a part of the system. Be the change you want to see. Join us. You see the women being judges and everybody look like, oh, that's such a good thing. No, because when you take those positions, when you take those roles, you have to support white supremacy. And if you don't, and if you try to be the change and you try to hold them accountable, they will go after you. They will target you. What happened when they came after me, I'm not wrapped too tight. So when you give it to me, I'm going to give it to you. They wasn't expecting it. And you never underestimate your opponent. When they filed the departmental charges and they said I was incompetent and I neglect my duty and all they in their whole heart of hearts believe that. But what they didn't realize is that I had my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, my master's in political science and public affairs, and my PhD from the streets. I'm not the 1, 2, or 3. So I knew what they were doing to me, and I called it for what it was. Like I would say they were abusing me. They would say, well, man, when you use these words, you're triggering this. I said, okay, thank you. I put that on the record that I'm triggering it. I would call everything they did, every complaint, you move, I move just like that. You say something to me that's racist, say less. As per our conversation, I was walking down the stairs with one of my coworkers, and it was a staff-only hallway. The supervisor jumped and said she thought we were going to rob her. This is the type of stuff at the courts. As a probation officer, when you get hired, they have to train you to do your job. Black people, they wouldn't even train you. Just figure it out on your own. Then when you don't do something or something happens, you didn't follow a policy or procedure that they didn't tell you about, they write you up and say you neglected your duty. Boo-boo, you're not going to hold me accountable for nothing you ain't trained me on. I was there for 18 months before I was told that I could do the reports. Now, I was the report writer. Probation has 3 departments. I wrote the reports. Before your sentence in the state of New Jersey, a report is done on you, who you are as a person besides the charges. Right. The judge get that, so you go in front of the judge, he'll tell you about your background, your criminal history. That's the report I did. I was there for 18 months, literally 18 months, before they told me that report could have been done without the person showing up. Because the judge said you got your sentence in 6 months or 6 weeks, whatever, you have to go to this building and get interviewed. They would never come. I would chase them. The manager, my supervisor, would harass me about them not coming in, and they would come in the day before. I didn't know, I didn't understand the process or whatever. So you're writing that I'm not interviewing and my reports are late. If you would have told me 18 months ago, I could have just did the report without the person. But they wasn't telling me key things to do my job. I had to go to Caucasian people hired after me to get the training on things because they wouldn't.
Did you ever think about switching counties?
No. Nope. I did transfer, put a request in to transfer, but I had a child with a medical issue that I had FMLA. My baby was in the hospital at 4 months. I'm 15 minutes away from the job. I literally could take off of work, pick her up from the babysitter, take her to the pediatrician, and bring her back home in an hour lunchtime, or maybe use 15 minutes of a vacation instead of taking a whole day to having to travel in and commute. My daughter was in the hospital when she was 4 months. And I had the FMLA, so they wouldn't put her in the hospital. I would stay home with her because of her medical issue. So me having to commute to another county, that's not conducive to the family. And my thing was, I should be able to be treated with respect wherever I am. And the thing about it is my coworker who was there since 1995, the money laundering scheme I came up with is they would bring black people up on departmental charges they know they're not guilty of, which is fraud for money laundering purposes. So if you suspend me for a week for FMLA, that's a week of pay, hypothetically $1,000. Where does that money go? Now, I'm one black person you did it to, but it's 3 in our lawsuit. So you need $10,000, $20,000 in your budget, you just go after the black people. And you bring them up on charges that they're not guilty of, you're the courts. You find them guilty even when they're not. Now you got that money in your budget.
I've seen that already. I've seen that.
And the money laundering of the cases that we were doing. They were paying $200 a day for me to do a pre-sentence report. The pre-sentence report on the DP is a disorderly person's offense. This is playing loud music. Why are you in superior court before a judge paying a probation officer money to write a report on a person playing loud music? It's a whole money laundering scheme. So you had to say you had crime. When I started, I think we had like 4 judges. When I finished, we had like 10. You had these cases. So if a judge disposed of 1,000 cases, but 500 of those cases should have been disposed of in municipal court. But you have to show you have crime. You have to show a need for a budget. So you writing me up because 6 cases had to be given away because I was out because of my daughter. So those 6 cases had to be given away. I shouldn't even have because they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Like, who you think you're playing with? And then they said, again, I was incompetent. By law, per the union, I was supposed to do 140 cases. 12 cases a month, 12 months, 12 times 12. Again, that year that I'm incompetent, can't do my job as a woman, they tell you these things is not true. I did 202 cases. The 6 that was given away, so you wrote me up for doing 202 instead of 208 when my minimum is 140?
That's what happened to me.
My minimum, I beat the minimum. I did 29 cases the month that I was supposedly written up for not being incompetent. It had nothing to do with my incompetence. And the issue that we had was I knew who I was. Like I knew, growing up, my mother was
how many
Black Panther.
other black women were in your division?
When I got there, 1. They didn't hire black people because this is how they treated them. When I left, it was maybe 4 or 5 of us, and everybody in my division, every black person there, had an opportunity to file a lawsuit against them. Again, the 2 sheriff officers, a lot of people don't for various reasons, and that's one of the reasons why I had time. I'm petty Betty. Call me what you want. I had time. So, no, I really didn't want to file a lawsuit against an entire branch of government. They gave me no choice. You let me know that you was going to keep your knee on my neck. So I had to either get up and hold you accountable or just shut up and take it. And I'm not the shut up and take it type. And the witnesses, they came at, I got them for the fraud. Now, RICO is 10 charges or a series of 30 to 40 charges that you have to do in a 10-year period. Any company or corporation or government entity that does these charges is guilty for RICO. Fraud is one of the charges. Witness tampering. Don't you know they went after my witnesses and said they went after them because they testifying for me? Baby, that's witness tampering. And brought them up on discrimination charges to try to discredit them before the trial. Then the girl said that she did. After I filed my lawsuit, I was investigated for 60 days for answering a question too fast. I lie to you not. They said I answered a question. Who y'all think y'all talking to? And they would try to, the mental torture, the mind games that they would try to play. And I'm not the 1, 2, or 3. They could never play them with me because I knew my rights.
So you said your attorney. So you do have someone representing you now. You
Yes.
went in alone, but now you have someone.
Yes. When I did my federal case, I went in alone. Between my federal case and my state case, I got an attorney. I spent like $5,000, $200 to this one, $1,000 to different attorneys. A lot of them were scared. My attorney, she a no limit soldier. Her name Deisha Jackson. I'm about to give me a shirt that say "Get you a Deisha Jackson" because she about that business.
So how long have you been working with her now?
Since 2021.
Okay.
2021.
Okay.
She did my state lawsuit was filed August of 2021.
Okay, so help me to understand because I'm ignorant to all of this. So the state lawsuit she filed with you.
Yes.
And the outcome of that was
still pending. And then she put in a motion to join my federal lawsuit as well.
Okay.
Because in federal court, it's hard to show that you've been discriminated against. She filed a case in federal court and they dismissed it. They don't want, the federal government is not too kindly of you being discriminated against. They even changed the law saying if you are, you only get $300,000. Regardless of the company, regardless of, they put a cap on it because people was getting millions on how they was treating black people.
Discrimination.
The fact that I filed my lawsuit with no attorney, the state of New Jersey filed a motion to dismiss. They said it was according to the news article, NJ.com, it was a sham. I didn't exhaust all my administrative means. I don't know what I'm talking about. The federal judge, give him a shout out because he was appointed by Obama, said, nah, sir, she could file a lawsuit against you. Then when I filed my state, they wouldn't even know my state lawsuit was coming because it was 3 of us and they didn't know what was going on. But you never underestimate your opponent. And
so okay, so my question is,
I'm sorry.
With the no. With the current administration.
Yes.
and with everything that is now changing, right? So even if you had a chance in 2019, right? What does and I know
like now?
right.
What does it look
right.
like now?
What does it look like now?
What powers that be?
Right.
The federal. I don't want to talk about the federal judge, but she earned herself a whole chapter in my book. The way she violated my rights and did not tell the truth, because she was appointed by Reagan or Bush, one of them Republicans. She basically lied like a Persian rug too. She lied and said, I refuse to do this, I refuse to do that. She's the one who put the federal case on pause and say, if you look up the federal case, it says administratively dismissed, while she's allowing them to put subpoenas in. But I have a state case that they're supposed to be answering questions on. They're not answering no questions on the state case, but they're demanding subpoenas in the federal case. When I tell you, even my attorney, they filed it against me for saying, I said, give me the answers. They said, we don't have the answers. The judge said, okay, they don't have the answers. I don't have the evidence to prove my case. In federal court, it should be dismissed. Because if you don't have the evidence to prove, dismiss the case, let's dismiss this federal case. Let's focus on the state case. I said, nah, son, it's the principle. It's the principalities of this. I'm keeping that federal case open because it's the principle. Mm-hmm. I might get $35,000. I told my attorney, you can keep it. But I ain't mean that. But I'm just saying, it's the principle. It's the principle. It's not about the money. It's the fact that you did what you did. Right. You violated the law, and you didn't just discriminate. And I think the wording is very important. They didn't just discriminate against me. They committed federal crimes against me. They should be charged with treason as far as I'm concerned. Because what they do to black people, the judicial branch of government targets black people for the purpose of making them slaves again. I was brought up on departmental charges for things they know I didn't do, and they found me guilty. So I said I didn't like white people. So when they brought me up on this charge and they found me guilty, I'm talking to them. They said, yeah, well, you had a fair trial. And I'm looking at her like, that guerrilla court? But they were trying to convince me that the processes was fair. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. Like, I know I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. I know that these people that you had 3 people testify against me. I know they was lying.
They do that.
Mm-hmm. And they look at you like you're crazy because you don't agree with they BS. I'm not the 1, 2, or 3.
Are you still in any kind of relationship with anyone who is still there, or anyone that's in law enforcement now in Middlesex County?
I take the 5th.
Okay.
But what I will say is a chief probation officer who worked at the courts for 20 to 30 years just filed a discrimination lawsuit against the prosecutor like I did. He wanted to follow in the homegirl footsteps. I ain't mad at him. He filed the same lawsuit, said the same thing I said. And he was the chief. He was in charge of the people that we're suing in the state case. He just, like, the discrimination, the corruption, how they treat black people is ridiculous. And they do it in Middlesex County. And I can tell you why they do it. They mad that Asana Shakur got away. They mad she got away. They got egg on their face. Black women, you don't have a chance. When you come there, they on you like white on rice. And the thing about them getting on me was everybody else was like, shh, like, shh. You can't say nothing. Like, you can't, either I'm free or I'm not free. You're not going to play these games with me. Either I can get FMLA, you can't write me up. Like, what are we doing here? Everybody else was scared of them. And it's just like, it was a lot of white women who put their anger and their insecurities and their mediocrity on black women because they saw my greatness. They saw that I was 32. I had my own home. I had a husband and kids, and they hated it. And I can't not be me because you're insecure about that. But they knew if they trained me how to do my job, I would surpass them. They knew what it was. And me, like, reflecting on everything that was done to me, they saw your girl was fly.
And so that's how it started. That's how it started. That's like you were doing your job. You were taking your approved FMLA. They were discriminating the entire time. And again, we
follow you around.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen,
like petty to the pettiest.
We are all black women. We have all been in corporate spaces. No, we have not been, in that capacity, right? But we have all been there. We know that there is
some truth
it
to
happens
what you're saying, because in many of the spaces that we hold, right?
In all
and we
spaces,
are all educated.
Not in many all
of the spaces that we hold, they treat us the same way.
Yeah,
It's not abnormal.
No,
I can tell you so many You know what I mean? Instances.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in the way I will say that I understand and I know more than you know. I understand and I know I've seen. And we know how. Like the thing about, and I tell this, it's funny because I had this conversation with her, but I also have this with my children. Where we grew up at, we know the difference between we can feel racism. We can feel when it's not right. We've seen it. We know the microaggressions or macroaggressions, right? We know that because that's what we grew up in. That's what we dealt with. So it's very like you said, you're not dealing with somebody that's not aware or doesn't know or you understand what I'm saying, and they just don't get that part.
They would get mad at me is because, and I think everybody's aware of what it is. It's just that I was calling a spade a spade.
Yeah,
that's it.
And like I was saying, you were discriminating against me. You were you set me up to fail because you were refusing to train me to do my job. And the wording of everything and how I laid out, and to the point where, okay, in 2012, I started January 2012. June, I filed my first complaint. I filed so many complaints. When we go to court to testify, you think I remember it happened in 2012? But because I had 7 aides and I was complaining against them, like, look, they should have left me alone. Because I documented everything they did to the point where they told somebody in training that they can't go to lunch with me. They got to go to lunch with their trainer. That never happened before. Yeah. Like the little pettiest, I have all that evidence. So when I'm asking them for evidence and asking them to answer these questions, they're refusing to answer. It was one of the probation officers of the Caucasian persuasion who loved Bruce Springsteen. He went into the computer on court record, got his social security number to get his address and phone number so he could have Bruce Springsteen information, which is a clear violation of the code of conduct. Remember the trainings they make you do every year? He got suspended for 6 months. While he was suspended, they paid him to DJ a company party.
Oh, shoot.
The black woman who I'm suing with, who's there since 1995, her doctor said, we're not going to medically clear you to return to work. They fired her for abandoning her duty because the doctor would not medically clear her. White people, they were not subject to know they could do whatever they want to do, however they wanted to do it. And they let you know that you black, you can't. And my thing was, I was not going to do half the stuff that they did. But the lies you coming at me with these departmental charges, you got me messed up. They give you dirty, you know how the cops give you dirty cases? They assumed that I would take the dirty jacket. I know I'm innocent. I don't think they understood, like, I know I'm innocent, right? Like, I don't understand how they did the hearing officer and had everybody around and then found me guilty for something that I know that I was innocent of. So I wrote my book and I detail all of that in the book.
Right. So that's what I want to talk about, because you have, your book is, you have the accusation, you have a chapter called The Accusation. Is that true?
I have so many chapters. But I talk about that.
Talk about, yeah.
I literally take what I did in my complaint and put it in the book. Yes, and I do that.
You have a chapter about the mother, like something about just, I guess, highlighting generational pain and all that other stuff. Do you have topics about that as
the
well?
First 2 chapters about my struggle. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. Right. My mother had 5 kids by the time she was 25. For me to go to school and get a degree, I was the first one out of 5 kids to go to college. So I already was going to write a book and be a motivational speaker before this HE double hockey stick happened to me. And I just talk about my fight and who I was as a person for me to even go to college. So my first 2 chapters is about my struggle as a person and just fighting and understanding everything happens for a reason. The 3rd chapter, I did it on 3 people in the state of New Jersey and the corruption of their cases. One was Asana Shakur, because I honestly believe wholeheartedly that black women and black people in Middlesex County are treated the way they are treated because she got away. And another case is Reuben Hurricane Carter.
Yes.
In Passaic, New Jersey, he was in prison for 19 years for a crime he didn't commit. And the state of New Jersey was so corrupt that he took it to the federal case because he didn't trust to go back to the state court because they were just going to do their BS. And the federal judge said, let that man go. And then the 3rd one was Isaac Wright. Isaac Wright, the movie For Life, 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson on ABC. He was in prison in Somerset County and for 7 years for a crime he didn't commit, got out, became an attorney, sued the prosecutor for prosecutorial misconduct, and now he's an attorney. And my Middlesex case was transferred to Somerset County. So those are the cases, and I talk about how the judicial branch of government targets black people for the purpose of making them a slave, regardless if they're innocent or not. The judiciary, they don't care. Everybody in law enforcement, it is your job to support white supremacy and to target black people. That's why we have mass incarceration. That's why we have the innocent. It's a business for them. That's why we have the Innocent Project. They don't care if you're guilty or innocent. They can charge a black person with a crime. Whether they did it or not, who cares? And they know it's only us.
So that's why the title allegedly is important. Is important because most of the time you discuss being guilty before even I'm guilty before you've even tried
guilty.
me.
You're guilty at birth.
You're
guilty at birth.
Before I even file this lawsuit
at
before
birth.
I do
at birth.
Right.
At
whatever.
Birth. Yeah.
I'm guilty already.
At birth.
I
mean, because isn't that a playground to prison pipeline?
Yes.
Preschool
to prison pipeline. Yeah,
that's all the systems. All the systems are designed to target black people. If you look at the medical system, and women can't even give birth in 2025, you telling me you got AI writing songs and doing everything else, and black women are still dying in childbirth. And then you see how the black women are treated to the point where she had to have her baby in the car,
or right there in the
that's how they're
thing. Yeah,
that's the medical field. Yeah. Even with women with castrating them, or my grandmother, they took her uterus and didn't even tell her. My great grandmother. Then you look at the education system. It's the Department of Education and taking loans and doing all that stuff. They know if they give us, especially with all the advances we made with what little we have, we will surpass them.
Of course.
But the criminal justice system, they designed this whole system. See, people think that slavery was abolished. Slavery was never abolished.
It just looks
different. The 13th
different.
Amendment said neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for a crime. So when the Confederates assassinated Lincoln, they got what they wanted with slavery. That's why the statues was erected and the Confederates rise again, because they did. It's an illusion that. And again, it's the wordplay of people not looking at the Republicans as Confederates because the different name, and we know who they are. We know what they want. We know what they're doing, but their job is to go after black people for the purpose of making them slaves again. Vagrancy laws. As soon as you get out of slavery, now you homeless. That's a crime. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. Even if you look at Tulsa and how they took everything we had or infiltrated our culture, people think that when white people invest in us or they buy something, they're helping us. Like they bought BET, they bought Sean John, Baby Fat Farm, all these companies a year. You're a billionaire. Yeah, but what did they do to our culture? That's why hip hop now is not on the Billboard, because y'all infiltrated it to destroy it from within. That's how you go after their music, you go after their TV. Now you have doctors and women fighting on TV, but back in the day we had Khadijah James owning her magazine. They want to get rid of us. They want to destroy us, and they're using it in
a derogatory way.
And they get you in the workplace. They specifically go after black women. They know with the single head of the household, they target them. They got it. They single. They can't fight. So they do these things on purpose. They want the breakdown of the family, so then they can target the women. Then they have to put up with it. Because if you leave, we're just gonna do it to somebody else. It's not like I'm special. I tell people I'm not special. I'm just crazy.
So how do you cope now?
Yeah, what toll has this?
Yeah,
taken
what toll has this taken on you?
You know,
man, I told you my therapist took my therapist 2-3 years to tell me that I couldn't go postal because I didn't understand why. Like Nat Turner's a hero of mine. Why can't I go? Like, nah, I'm not in a good place. I'm very open about that. What they're doing to my nephew. I'm absolutely angry.
Absolutely.
God is good. I called the 988 suicide because I was gonna go postal. They told me I talk too much. They hung up the phone. I'm like, how y'all? I said, you know what? I can't do nothing because I gotta sit there going stages. I can't believe it. People telling me they got to get off the phone. Like, man, we on the phone with you too long. Like, yo, I'm telling you, I'm about to go postal, and you telling me that your supervisor calling you. Like, yo. Like, yo, that's great. Like, yo, like you.
I can't even call them. I
can't
even.
Nobody been in the past. I want to give a shout out to my pastor because when I tell you, he saved a lot of lives the first day of Sunday because He said a lot of lies. He said you're going to be isolated. You're going to feel like you're all by yourself. So when it happens, you're going to know that God get to go. Because people just, when I say nobody's been like, you know, I have a couple that really, but it's really not on the level of, like, I just feel like
people don't support.
Can I just tell you? And I just want to tell you when I went through what I went through. Each other. When I went through what I went through with my boss, right? You know, when he was, and I'll be honest, because I no longer work there, but he was a white male and I, you know, a black woman. And I started going through what I went through, you know, and I was very like, I wasn't vocal. He was very vocal about it, which that was a smoking gun at the end, because he had said, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But I, like you, had the paperwork, and paperwork speaks everything. I remember this one always told me, it's not what you think, it's what you could prove, right? So that was one of the things that I always is what you could prove. So I had my paperwork and I had everything, and it was great. And it still wasn't a smoking gun. It still was like, okay. But what he did at the last part, and it's something about the midnight hour, what God do, right? So what he did at the last part was when two things that he did was, I kept telling him, you know, he's racist. He said certain things. And finally he goes up to an Indian guy and he goes, everybody's like, he's in the middle of all the cubicles or whatever, and he's talking to us with a team meeting. And so somebody's like, did you know that Zaki was Indian? He was like, yeah. He was like, he's a better looking one. And everybody was like, and I said, when I tell you, I wasn't happy that he said it to my friend, but I was happy that they could actually see what I was saying. You understand what I'm saying? What I was saying, I was like so happy that I got to my desk. Everything was pinging because everybody started IMing me like, oh my God. And I said,
like you already knew.
All I could do was sit at my desk and say, you know what, God, you funny.
He is hilarious.
So they then went to HR. So it was almost like a backup. But another thing that he did was no one knew on behalf of me that I was meeting or doing whatever. And we were having our final meeting for the determination of everything. And I didn't come to work that day because I worked from home that day because I knew I had a meeting at around 12 o'clock. I get to the office at 12. Everybody knows I'm in a meeting. Everybody knows that we have a meeting. It's not supposed to go like that. One, you're the manager. You're supposed to be confidentiality. And so I got in the office, and before I got there a little earlier, and I said to her, I said, you know, I want to say something to you. Generally, I would let us have our meeting. But I want to tell you that he has told everybody about our meeting. He has told everything. She was like, I questioned him about, and I said, no, could you question him again? Because I'm telling you. And thank God the girl had texted me. So I said, I'm going to cover the name, and I'm going to have you read this text message. And she read the text messages that said, he said you had a meeting today and what you were meeting about. It was a lengthy text message. And that was my smoking gun. That was my smoking gun. And when she got back in office, she was angry, visibly whatever. And she blacked out on him so bad and was like, get out of my office. And that was the end of my ever. So I'll tell you this, that was my redemption. That was something I prayed about, something my friends was praying about for me, something that I'm talking about sick about, upset about, angry about. I don't understand why this is happening to me about, all of that. And I just say that was my smoking gun. Mm-hmm. That was you know what I mean? That was the end of.
And the thing is you had an end, but unfortunately most of us do not.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
unfortunately, most of us do not. We were just getting to the place where we were starting DEI training. Yes. We were just getting to the place where we were explaining what microaggressive behavior in the workplace is. Mm-hmm. We were just getting to the place where we were discussing equity, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden DEI became damned letters. Now you can't put those letters together because teaching others about what diversity, equity, and inclusion is all of a sudden it was damning to the country, right? So we were literally just getting to the space. We were just getting to the space where we were teaching and even if other people didn't like it, they had to abide by it, right?
And sit and listen to it, or
they had to listen to it
inside of those meetings where they didn't want to be, where they felt
where
like
they were uncomfortable.
They had to pretend.
They had to
pretend, and they had to be very uncomfortable. Yes. And because there were, so many policies and different corporations that were enacted,
they had to.
And the government was saying, if you support DEI, then you get A, B, C, D, right? And so we were just getting to the point where, even though they were pretending and they didn't like it, they were still they still had to go behind closed doors to say certain things. And right when we were getting there,
I think that was a blessing, though. I think that was a blessing. Because the thing is, I was going through what I was going through, and everybody was talking about how times have changed and things are good, and I'm like, I don't think y'all understand.
It's not.
It's an illusion of it being good.
I'd
rather it be. You tell me, like, I'm all for segregation. Let me know I don't need to go to this restaurant. I don't need to do like my daughter. I feel so bad. Like, I don't want to say I'm a horrible parent, but my post-traumatic stress parenting my kids is like, you get on my nerves. Like, oh my God, it's another black movie. Because I'm trying to teach them and explain things to them because of what happened. Now, my mother was a correction officer at Northern State Prison and filed a discrimination lawsuit against them in the 90s. So why in 2020 am I doing the same? Like, what are we doing? So now I have a daughter, and I'm like, I don't even want you to go to work. Like, I don't even want you to go. I don't even know what I want you to do. But I don't want her to go through the same trauma.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to stop.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, maybe you could start my business, be a motivational speaker, do a book or something, because the fact that everything is happening, it's a good
maybe
thing.
She can open an institute for social justice.
It's a good thing because I don't want the illusion that it was before with the DEI, because they were still violating. My girlfriend been there since 1995. She was being brought up on false departmental charges and suspended every year on things she did not do since 2000 because of their budget. So since 2000, she was being brought up and suspended. The equipment broke. The stuff that she was brought up on, like, I'm going over this case and the evidence is so clear. I'm glad they got, like, the way they treat us, we should just honestly go back to segregation. And we should just because anything, we are the party. They want to be in our culture. They want to be in our stuff. They want to be in our business. And because our culture is now pop culture, they think they have a right to even talk and speak about certain things that they don't have a right to speak on.
I always say this, and I, like you, I'm the same way. My kid, I'm very into teaching them history. I am very into teaching them. Like, you are not gonna, if I ask you somebody, I need you to tell me who they are, because then I'm not doing my job. Right? If you don't know, then I'll be like, hold up, what am I doing? Where are we going here? I need you to know all the things, right? I need you to understand and recognize also some things that most people do not recognize. And I'm with you. I am with you. Like you said, the post-traumatic, I think it's what we grew up with as well. Like, I think, I always say this, and I explain this to my kids. It's one thing for you not to like us. It's fine. You don't have to like us, right? That's great. But when you stop us from, this is the part.
That's racism.
This is the part.
Our outcome.
This is the part. You stop us from getting houses.
Yes.
You stop us from certain positions.
Thriving.
You stop us from getting the businesses or the loans or the same grants or the same funding or whatever. You put a thing where you don't want us moving in your neighborhood.
But do you know why that is?
Yes.
That's the key to all of this.
Yes.
And the thing about it is the psychological. They see the greatness.
It's
when
the
I
fear
was there,
of us.
I didn't know, or I didn't recognize, like, why is a black mom just like, let me do my job. They saw the greatness in us. That's why they don't want you to get the edge. They know we were surpassed.
I completely understand racism. I get it. I
get
whether I like it or not, right?
Yeah.
But I completely understand racism. Yeah, if you, first of all, they are not the global majority. That's number one.
Exactly.
They are not the global majority. That's the first thing, which means from a survival standpoint, you got to do what you got to do so that you can survive. You're not the global majority. Brown folks are the global majority for this entire continent. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have recessive genes. So if you mix with anybody else, y'all become everybody else. Everybody else don't become you.
Yes.
because you have recessive genes. So you're going quicker towards extinction than anything else,
and
right?
Everybody's looking like
that's why
you're not as intelligent, right?
Dumb as a
But
doorknob.
You're not as intelligent, and that is a fact. So the fact of the matter is I completely understand racism. It's not. It's survival for them. Racism is survival for them. Racism is survival. These abortion laws, they don't care if you get rid of your babies. But you can't keep getting rid of white babies.
$5,000 to get their babies.
But you can't keep getting rid of white babies.
But you see how the black women get treated when they're trying to have their babies.
Yes.
They don't care if you kill yours, but you can't kill white babies. That abortion law didn't have nothing to do with us.
No,
it had everything to do with them.
They're
because
trying to force them to have. Even the law about being married.
The drugs, though. The drugs. Remember the bite out of crime? It wasn't because you flooded our.
No, you took a bite out of crime.
You flooded our neighborhoods with the heroin. Let's just be real.
But you was taking a bite out of crime when it was crime in black neighborhoods that you caused. But now that you have an opioid epidemic in Middle America,
wait, hold up. But you got to remember. Let's rewind.
It's a health crisis.
Flooded our neighborhood, but when y'all started getting addicted,
it's a health crisis.
When y'all started. When your kids started ODing,
it's a health crisis.
Now all of a sudden,
it's not
we gotta take a bite out of crime. We gotta hold up. We gotta do something about this.
Do you know that was done? That was done. The drug laws was literally written to fund the prison system.
Yeah, of course.
They wanted to go after a certain. That's why the cocaine and the crack laws, and that's why I see the prison, like even the criminal justice.
He was giving football numbers. Remember?
The whole purpose of the judicial branch of government is to target black people, and black people have to start realizing. That's why when my podcast, I talk to cases, people who are wrongfully incarcerated for crimes they didn't commit, where the state know that there's no way this person did this crime, but they don't care because they want the body, and they spend $40,000 a year per person to watch them, and now they have states suing with the private prisons because you told us we could get this number and we don't have that number. So they profit off our pain. That's another reason why I wrote the book. I wrote the book so I can have the rights to my story, because the way Netflix and Tubi, the way they do stories on people and take people rights, I own the rights to my story and what happened to me and my nephew. For his sake, but the book was a strategic thing. It was my protest against them. You can protest the government any way you see fit. Usually, people wait till after the case is pending, and I did jeopardize a lot with my case to have the book published. I apologize, but I knew the importance of me getting it out, because they would seal the documents. And what they did with my nephew and how the corruption and everything that they did, they would get away with it.
Yeah.
Because I would not be able to speak about it. But because I have the book, I can speak about it to forever.
Yeah.
Even after I get the settlement or I
Because
win
you're
at trial.
not going to sign an NDA, of course.
Yeah.
Like you don't. It wouldn't be right. Exactly. It wouldn't be in your best interest and theirs either.
Yeah. All right. We
over. I know.
Yeah.
Way
over.
This was amazing. This was, I think, a lot of people don't understand. It's so many levels to this that we have to break down. Like, you have to come back, because there's so many levels that we have to break down. Because not just about your book, but just overall.
I want to go more into you, and I want to go more into, everybody's talking about mental health now, right? I want to go more into you as a black woman and what you're literally doing to cope. And everybody walks around talking about, oh, it's me with the world on my shoulders. No, literally it is you with the world on your shoulders. You know what I mean? So how do you deal with that? How do you go through? What is your coping mechanism? How do you still say, is comedy your therapy?
Yes.
So I want you to come back, because I want to go into that aspect of all of it, so.
But you had shows and all types of stuff.
Yeah.
I want you to tell people how to reach you. I want you to tell people, of course, and I know, like I said, you have a lot pending. You have a lot of things going on, but you do still do comedy. You still are out there, still speaking, right? Still doing. tell the world.
Larisha Speaks. Larisha's going to continue to speak about it. LarishaSpeaks.com, Instagram, Facebook is Larisha Resilience. They wouldn't let me use my government because they said I'm speaking about what happened to me. I violated their community guidelines. Instagram, Larisha Speaks, LarishaSpeaks.com. Reach out to me. Speaking engagement, schools, colleges. I was at Dillard University. I'm trying to go to Howard University to speak and talk to the criminal justice kids about what really happens when you go into the field. Because they tell you in theory, I want to tell you what happens in practice.
Right.
Because I experienced it. So, and I would love to come back.
And a lot of our black kids, because I know mine, both of mine, criminal justice majors, right? So, and they do that, like you said, because they want to, make a difference and do whatever. And I don't think they all know what it entails in order, or what they endure sometimes when they go in those type of fields.
And what they're really signing up for.
Yeah, what they're signing up for.
All right, so we're definitely going to have you back. In the new year, first quarter of new year, we're going to, as we're talking about mental health and how to set everything, all of your intentions and everything for the year, we're going to bring you back. So we got to put that on the schedule for January. So if you're free, because you have your show, you have everything else that you're doing, but if you're free, we're definitely going to have you back because I really want to delve into that. Seriously want to delve into that. In the meantime, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for confronting the blurred lines, right? Thank you for changing the perception, right, of certain things and entities, and thank you. Thank you for not being fearful, right? Thank you for being the powerful black woman that you are. Thank you.
The voice that you are.
Yeah. I really, I'm not shocked, right? I wish I could say I'm not shocked. I know who you are, so I'm not shocked. And we're going to pray on this.
Yes, please. Share my story, please. Anybody who's watching, share my story. I have a flyer. Go to my page, my TikTok, Larisha Speaks. They block me on TikTok. They block my videos. They take down my videos. Like, I'm fighting a whole bunch of government. So, just if you share my story, that's like I tell my family, I have family in Ohio, Georgia, New Jersey, California, Texas. If you share my story, it'll get out. They can block me, but they can't block us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. That's all I got. Thank you. Thank you. In the meantime, Miss Queen B, you got to start cooking because you said you going
I'm about to go shop
cook for the holidays, sis. No, I mean that's what you said.
But yes, I am.
Okay.
Cooking for the holiday.
All right, that's what you said. That's all I'm saying. But in the meantime, hopefully everybody can get together, and it's not about, everybody talks about pagan holidays, this, that, or the other, but, we always take things and make things our own. So if you were getting together, community is something that we lost in the African American community. So, you know what? Take this time period to connect with those you have healthy relationships with, because I can't just say just all family. I will say those that you have healthy relationships with, those that, pour into you and you can pour into them as well. Take that time and just be grateful and thankful for them. And commune with one another. Community and hosting is a lost art. It is not something we do anymore in our community. It was something that was indicative of black folks was coming together to survive and to cope with things. And that's, we're so isolated now. So I would, if anybody asked me, I would give the advice that we get back to that as a people, because I feel like we can help to heal as a community.
Absolutely.
And I hope you all do that, and just also focus on what it is you are grateful for.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with something saying,
it's been a rough year.
Yeah.
It's
What are you grateful for right now?
Yeah.
And focusing on that. So
we love y'all.
God willing, next week we will be back here, same time, same place, different show. You all will be here. Everybody that was in the chat, I do apologize. We could not get to you. There's too much to talk about. We'll come back to y'all comments. But thank you for watching. We love you all for watching. We love you all for listening. And everybody be safe. Be well. Jeff, take us away, please.